So this is the time of the year where I'm actually most excited about a phone launch. If you have been following me for some time, first of all, thank you. I know at this point of time you don't really want to follow anyone on social media, but that's a rant for some other time. So if you have been following me, you know I'm a Nexus fan, and people who don't know what Nexus is, it's basically a phone that with the clean and aesthetic software. So I have been a fan for Nexus phone, which is now Google Pixel, for a very long time. So it is natural for me to get excited about a phone that is launching with as clean software as you can get. But is that enough nowadays? After the launch of Pixel 6 series, Google have been struggling with Pixel phone with either it's going to be the performance, efficiency, the network performance. I mean, there are a lot of issues with this phone. And if you want to include the current standard, the charging speed and the battery life is also a problem with them. I think the Google Pixel 9 was kind of a turning point for them. They did try to fix a lot of stuff, but I think it is still one of the best looking phone out there. And they also worked on the efficiency part of it, even by throttling the performance. The network has been improved as well from past year, but I still don't think that was like a perfect phone. While normal people do not care about it, the Pixel fans always blamed Samsung. They were the one who were making chips for Google Tensor. And I think a lot of us were waiting for TSMC to make the Tensor chip. So that is the case with Pixel 10. And I know a lot of Pixel fans were saying that everything will be magically fixed when they move to TSMC. So what happened? Let's be real, it is the same phone as last year with some improvement. While some reviewers like MKBHD said that the phone feels jittery with the max resolution, reviewers like GSM Arena said the battery has gotten worse. For me, it's a phone with Pixel Snap on it, but that is it. But the thing is, it doesn't really tell you much about the phone. Was it so bad to start with? It is an incredibly beautiful phone. I don't think there is a better looking phone out there. Yeah, this phone comes with the best haptics and feedback on the market, and the phone oozes premiumness. The side rails are shiny, but I think it makes it look absolutely premium. The camera visor is iconic and doesn't wobble like other brands. Both the front and back glass are Victus 2 now, with the same IP68 rating. And the display also looks great. The screen is more bright and one of the brightest when it comes to high brightness mode. That means you will never face an issue under sunlight. The media experience is great, plus the speakers have been improved as well. Okay, those are the things that were great before as well. It always was a beautiful looking phone like Pixel 9 Pro. It was always had a great display. But what about the performance, efficiency, network, battery, charging? I mean, you are here for those stuff. So let's talk about it first. Well, in my opinion, they are the same as last year. Moving to TSMC may be great on paper, but doesn't make a huge difference in day-to-day use. It might improve the artificial intelligence operation on the local device, but that might not be something you're looking for. It does get warm while clicking photos just like any otother phone. There is new UFS 4 storage which starts from 256 GB, and in India we don't even get 128 GB with USB 3.1, so we don't have to think about it. But if you are in any other country where you have to get the 128 GB, it is faster than last year, and even the UFS 4 into 56 is not much faster from 3.1. And in India, we don't get the 512 and 1 TB, where you can actually get the UFS 4 with zone storage. That's a new kind of storage, but we don't have it, so I can't talk about it. The battery life is more or less the same, even though the capacity has been increased. So I don't see any improvements there. The charging is basically the biggest improvement because you get now Qi 2 and Qi 2.2 on the Pro XL model. So now I can actually use my Apple Qi 2 charger, which I can use with the magnets, and they are really strong. The wide charging speed on the smaller model and the Fold has been increased to 30 watt with the PPS charger. If you want to know more about the chargers, I'll link a video somewhere here where I explain like how the charging system works. The network reception seems to be improved, but it's still the same modem, so don't expect a lot from it. Here is a speed test alongside with Fold 7 for your reference for 5G test. It does catch up faster than last year, and I think you can use this phone as your primary phone now. I think it has been improved that much. But the software is the main area where the magic happens. And I think this is still the smartest phone you can get right now. The artificial intelligence in this phone is one of the best you can get on the market right now. The new Material 3 Expressive is beautiful and the animations are so much better. And Pixel has added some small neat feature. For example, you can scan a screen protector for a phone to decide how much touch sensitivity it will require for the fingerprint sensor. And for me, the reliability has increased from almost 85% to 99%. Even though I haven't came across the magic keys in most of the apps that I've been using, I think there are some small features that are actually really good. Even the writing tools is much better than Apple that I was using, so the keyboard is much better. You get a neat feature where it automatically adapts the vibration and sound. So basically, if you're getting multiple notifications from the same contact or app, it will reduce the sound with every notification. If your phone is on table, it will reduce the vibration so that it doesn't like do grr, grr. Like, you know what I mean. See, I'm not saying it's a perfect software. There are bugs. It is not always smooth when you're scrolling in different apps. But I still think this is one of the best software experience you can get right now when it comes to no bloatware or no ads. Unless you have enabled RCS in India, you will get a lot of ads. Turn that off. Now the last thing that I want to talk about is the camera. I've taken a lot of photos and some videos. I'll start with the video first. So the videos are not great in my opinion. I know Google advertises the very good video camera and they have shot the Jonas Brother video with it, but you can tell that this is not a great video. I mean, it has been shot from a phone. The thing is, it does not support the pro features. It doesn't have those log recording for creators as well. So I won't expect it to be a great camera for video recording. It's fine, but even in the low light scenario, it doesn't work great. Also, when you switch between lens while recording, it does feel jittery even right now. So when it comes to videos, I think Apple, then Samsung, and then Google. But photos might be a different story, so let's talk about it. See, the camera area is the same as last year. The only thing that has been changed is the ISP because of the new processor, and I think I can see a difference here. Let's start with the HDR first. I think Pixel is one of the best phone when it comes to HDR, and sometimes it's the one of the worst phone. So in this photo, as you can see, the separation of background and my black cat is really good. None of the phone can do that. But if you see the next picture, as you can see, there are some artifacts on the wall which should not be there. So it's doing some AI things which is not working here at all. If I talk about the 2x, it is not even close to iPhone when it comes to details. And the photos can look really soft if you zoom in, but it still can take good shots. The skin tones have been improved, and overall the photos are not as cool as they used to be. So I think this is the change that I really like. The camera is fast enough to take moving subjects, but not in light. Which brings me to the zoom, and I think I love the Pixel 5x zoom most when it comes to processing. I think my most amazing pictures from a 5x zoom was from either 8 Pro, 9 Pro or 10 Pro 5x camera. It is not the sharpest when you zoom in, but it is still a really good 5x camera. And now Google has also added offline ProRes AI model in your Pro phones, so you can zoom up to 100x and the AI will try to make the photo look as real as possible. For example, these are the shots from where I am and the 100x, as you can see like how it's creating the artifact. And you can see the difference between the AI and the normal picture side by side. And this is another shot of moon at 30x, and you can see the difference between real and AI shot. The portrait still sucks with edge detection and you cannot use a telephoto lens for it. So take 5x shot, edit in Photos app to make it portrait. It works much better. And if I talk about the front camera, I think it is same as last year, but the skin tones have been improved. The details are like as usual, and I think still one of the best camera you can get for selfies. Overall, I think Pixel is still a great point and shoot camera for everyday use. And I think whenever I have Pixel, I take way more photos. And if I talk about the price and value, I think this is subjective, and also it depends upon from which country you are, what kind of user you are, what is your preference. If you are someone who prefers the software first then the hardware, I think this phone might be for you. In India, a lot of people only care about the specs. That is the truth. So if you are those people, this is not the phone for you. And if you are someone who is not patient about the software update and this phone might get better in future, this is also not a phone for you, because you should never buy a phone based on the future promises. But from the previous experience, I've always seen Google to improve their phone in the future. So if you're someone who are okay with small bugs right now, I think this is a great phone. But this is for a very niche market. So personally, I really love this phone, but I can only recommend it for those people who are okay with some bugs and do not care about a huge performance bump. Those who care about AI processing a bit more, because this phone does that really well. And if you want just an overall good experience, do let me know your experience about this phone. My name is Rohit. I'll see you in the next one. Till then.